In a world where many settle for the superficial and a lack of authenticity, Sigma males see beyond appearances and empty words. They're not like the rest. They possess a sharp perception and an independence of spirit that enables them to notice attitudes others overlook. At Official Sigma Male, we understand that every action counts, that each word and gesture reveals much more than it seems. Why do so many ignore these behaviors, while Sigmas instantly reject them? Because they seek what's real, what's genuine, and they're not afraid to make others uncomfortable by pointing out a lack of integrity in those around them. If you've ever wondered why some people seem to have a special knack for detecting the fake or the manipulative, then you're in the right place. Here, we're going to explore together those attitudes that irritate Sigmas instantly. Get ready, because what you discover could make you see human behavior from a completely new perspective. And if this resonates with you, this space will be an invaluable source of knowledge to strengthen your own path to authenticity. Subscribe to Official Sigma Male, because here we don't talk about the superficial. Here we focus on what truly matters. Flattering influential people, an annoyance for Sigma males. Sigma males often feel deep irritation at excessive flattery towards influential people. Why? Because this type of behavior feels empty and unnatural to them. And for them, authenticity is a fundamental virtue. When they see others dedicating themselves to flattering someone only to gain favor, they feel that the environment becomes fake, lacking any real purpose. It's not that they don't value genuine relationships, but they reject any appearance of opportunistic interest. Thus, flattery towards powerful figures is seen by them as an act of manipulation incompatible with their respect for authenticity. Imagine the typical office scene, someone trying to capture the boss's attention with constant compliments. For a Sigma, this spectacle is like bad theater. They prefer that their connections are based on mutual respect, not on the need to impress. And if we're talking about examples, they tend to demonstrate their value through actions, not words, letting authenticity speak for itself. Instead of seeking validation from others, they prefer to focus on building their own path, demonstrating integrity and consistency at every step. For Sigmas, sincerity is non-negotiable. They aren't motivated by others' approval and don't feel the need to belong to circles of influence. They understand that a person's value lies in their character, not in the favors or titles they might offer. Therefore, their irritation towards those who flatter powerful figures is in reality a reflection of their respect for authenticity and their firm stance that everyone should shine for who they are, not for whom they seek to please. Manipulative generosity, an attempt at control. For a Sigma male, manipulative generosity is a subtle form of control disguised as kindness. They deeply value independence and can perceive when someone uses generosity as a tool to create emotional debts. It's not about rejecting a kind gesture, but about feeling that this gesture comes with a hidden price tag. It's a situation where the Sigma finds himself caught between accepting the kindness or getting involved in a relationship of dependency that he never asked for. Let's consider the example of a friend who always pays when they go out, but later uses it as an excuse to expect favors or absolute loyalty. The Sigma quickly detects this type of exchange, disguised as friendliness. For him, true generosity doesn't seek control or imposed reciprocity. They prefer a sincere thank you and nothing more, making it clear that a genuine act of kindness should not come with hidden expectations. Sigmas know that an authentic person never turns their help into a tool to get something in return. Their focus is on cultivating relationships that are free, where acts of help or support don't imply future commitments. For them, independence is one of their most prized values, and any attempt to restrict that freedom through manipulative generosity is perceived as a lack of respect. True connection is based on mutual freedom, without chains of favors or unspoken expectations. Playing the victim card. Frustration for Sigma's accountability. For a Sigma male, the victim mentality is a barrier to personal growth and a path that leads to a lack of responsibility. They see in this behavior an unwillingness to face problems head-on, a tendency to seek excuses instead of solutions. When someone constantly presents themselves as a victim, the Sigma feels frustrated because they believe everyone has the power to take control of their life without resorting to pity as a means of validation. Imagine a friend who always complains that everything goes wrong but makes no effort to change their situation. Instead of generating empathy, this behavior distances Sigmas who value responsibility and proactivity. They understand that while life presents challenges, the way one responds defines one's character. So instead of sympathizing, they prefer to motivate others to act, to avoid getting trapped in a cycle of complaints and self-pity. For a Sigma, accepting mistakes and taking the reins is the only way to move forward. They themselves practice this principle by avoiding excuses and accepting the consequences of their decisions. In this way, the victim mentality not only frustrates them, but represents the opposite of their values of self-management and resilience. Seeing others adopt the constant role of the victim reminds them that strength lies in responsibility, in accepting challenges without lamenting and facing them with determination. Empty promises when actions don't back up words. For a Sigma male, coherence between what is said and what is done is a sign of integrity, a value they do not compromise. When someone says one thing but acts oppositely, the Sigma interprets it as a sign of inconsistency and lack of authenticity. They firmly believe that words carry weight and that each promise, no matter how small, is a commitment. Thus, every contradiction between discourse and action becomes a sign of distrust. Imagine a colleague who promises to collaborate on a project but, when the time comes, withdraws or simply doesn't fulfill what they promised. This kind of situation generates deep frustration for the Sigma, who would value an honest no much more than a broken promise. For them, honesty goes hand in hand with responsibility, and they prefer to surround themselves with people who not only talk about their intentions, but actually follow through. Sigmas understand that not every path is easy, and that sometimes it's simpler to say something than to fulfill it. However, in their view, true integrity is tested through actions. That's why they prefer to act in silence and let their results speak for them. Their lives are based on a sense of responsibility and congruence, where words and actions are one and the same. Any contradiction between the two is, to them, a red flag and a barrier to deep relationships. Disregard for boundaries. An unacceptable lack of respect. For a Sigma male, respect for personal boundaries is an unbreakable value. When someone does not respect their boundaries, whether physical, emotional, or time-related, they perceive this act as a lack of consideration and respect for their independence. For them, boundaries aren't simply barriers, but spaces that represent their individuality and right to autonomy. Ignoring these boundaries is equivalent to disregarding who they are and what they value. Let's consider everyday situations, like a friend who insists on showing up unannounced or invading personal topics without asking. For a Sigma, this kind of invasion is uncomfortable and, above all, unnecessary. They value relationships built on mutual respect and expect that those close to them understand and respect their time and space. Without clear boundaries, they feel that the relationship becomes a burden rather than a genuine connection. Sigmas strive to set boundaries firmly, not because they want to isolate themselves, but because they know these are essential for a healthy relationship. They prefer that those around them understand that by respecting their boundaries, they are building a stronger and more solid bond. That's why they consider respect for personal boundaries a sign of maturity and mutual understanding, something they deeply value in their relationships. Telling half-truths, a break in trust. For a Sigma male, trust is a fundamental pillar in any relationship, and telling only half-truths is a betrayal of that principle. When someone chooses which part of the truth to share and which to withhold, the Sigma perceives it as a form of manipulation. To them, honesty is absolute. It has no gray areas or convenient fragments. Each half-truth becomes a barrier that, little by little, erodes the connection and makes it difficult to build a genuine bond. Let's think of someone who says one thing and then, when the situation changes, admits another part of the story. This kind of behavior sows doubts in the Sigma's mind, who begins to question if he can fully trust that person. Someone who withholds information or is ambiguous is, in their eyes, playing with transparency. And since the Sigma values straightforward, no-nonsense relationships, this act of omission is a violation of their code of authenticity. For Sigmas, being direct and frank is a rule of life. They prefer to hear the truth, no matter how harsh, rather than live in a decorated lie. If they ever consider there are details that should be reserved, they do so openly and without hiding their motives. In their view, a solid relationship can only endure if both parties are sincere and transparent, with no tricks or incomplete truths. That's why a lack of frankness becomes a boundary, a barrier that interferes with the authentic connection they value so much. Obsession with appearance, a superficial barrier. For a Sigma male, an obsession with external appearance is a barrier that prevents seeing a person's true value. They believe that beauty, though appreciable, is only a small part of what truly defines someone. When the focus becomes excessively superficial, they feel that the opportunity to build meaningful connections based on authenticity and depth of character is lost. To them, it's like judging a book by its cover without reading a single page. Imagine a typical scene at a social gathering where conversations revolve solely around brand clothing, gyms, and the latest trends. For the Sigma, this environment can be exhausting and devoid of purpose. They prefer to interact with people who value essence, who bring ideas, values, and life experiences. While they don't despise appearance, they know that it isn't the foundation of a true and enriching relationship. Sigmas often say that true beauty lies in how someone thinks, acts, and in the energy they exude. By surrounding themselves with people who prioritize substance over appearance, they feel that relationships can flourish in a more profound and genuine way. For them, a connection based on sincerity and mutual acceptance is what gives meaning to their interactions, not the fleeting glow of physical appearance. Now that you've explored these behaviors that Sigma males can't tolerate alongside official Sigma male, have you ever wondered how you could apply this knowledge to your own life? Reflect. How many times have you overlooked attitudes that, deep down, you knew brought nothing positive? Here, the key is authenticity and respect, not only towards others, but towards yourself. Are you ready to redefine your relationships and surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and values? It's time to make decisions with firmness and clarity, leaving behind the superficial and surrounding yourself with those who truly add value to your life. Subscribe to Official Sigma Male and activate notifications to continue this path of self-knowledge and authenticity. Here you'll find the support and tools needed to strengthen your independence and life vision, without losing sight of what truly matters.